All right, welcome everybody to the Drunk News Report. We got some crazy, insane Hollows of the Eve stuff for
coming up, so you better get this party started. Coming up, so you better get this party started. Get this party started on a Saturday night. Everybody's waiting for me to arrive. Sending out the message to all of my friends. We'll be looking swanky in my Mercedes-Benz. I am coming up, so you better get this party started.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming up, so you better get this party started.
I hope you're all ready for our party. We're going to have getting started right now. Thank y'all for being here and joining us. We're going to have lots of fun. Hopefully we get lots of drinks inside of me.
The volume breaking down to the beat.
We'll get to that in just a
Cruising
second.
through the west side, we'll be checking the scene. Boulevard is freaking, I'm coming up fast. I'll be burning rubber, you'll be kissing my ass. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. Coming up, so you better get this party started.
All right, folks, if you don't know who Richard Cheese is and Lounge Against the Machine, go and check them out. They're an amazing lounge band in the Las Vegas is where there's at. They do tour. You can go see them with other bluesy bands and stuff and thingy mabobbers. So we're gonna go ahead and begin bringing in our guests, even though I feel horrible because we only have one intro as of set up for right now, but it's okay. There will be intros made for everybody soon. I was busy all of last week. So the first one we have is...
But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
And that is for our Brainless. So welcome, Brainless. How are you doing?
Hi. Yeah, doing pretty good. Yeah,
Nice.
I thought like let's for change not talk that much, but sorry, it's just not gonna work for me.
I would not have it any other way, Brainless, and that's why you're here.
Yeah.
So
So you're doing a bit shit.
You mean I'm under the weather?
Yeah.
Or yeah, the events that we did. That's why we didn't do a show yesterday. I was too out of it. You all know when we were hanging backstage in VC or in the Dissim Accords. My brain was felt like I was swimming in soup. Like I was just so out of it from working all the weekend. So Friday we did an event and in Denver at the place called The Venue, but it got sold, so now it won't be there in a month. So we were like one of the last people to perform there. So they were like, ruin the stage. We don't care. We sold it to somebody else. So we had like fake blood all over the stage and like cupcakes and whipped cream and all this crap that got splattered all over the stage. So
Borky
it was fun
messing
and
everything
amazing.
up again.
Yes,
You
of
cunt.
course. Always blame Slim.
Hey, as long as you had fun.
Yeah, and then of course, I got done at 1:30 a.m. performing Friday night. I had to drive home to Fort Collins, so I didn't get home till 2 a.m., like 2:30. Slept for like 2 hours, woke up, and then had to drive 2 hours down to Colorado Springs and then perform 3 times a day for the next 2 days. Didn't get any sleep while I was in the hotel that I was staying in. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do for our next guest is we're going to do this as their intro for now. And there's our Mangoose intro for now. Because you inspired. Yeah, exactly. You inspired that for sure. So thank you. How are you doing, hon?
I'm tired. Been dealing, with mental health, physical health, small people. Such is life.
Yeah, exactly. So we understand. So we're glad that you're here. We've got a lot of interesting, silly, fun stuff to go over for the Hallows Eve season. So I'm going to bring in our next guest, which we're changing their intro very soon. I just have not remade it because, unfortunately, I cannot figure out a way to download Lucy, the daughter of the devil, an episode and how to clip. It's so copyrighted on the YouTubes that it won't let me do it, and I haven't figured out a way around it 100%. But somebody sent me a new video that we'll be using for her intro. So everybody say hello to Vila. How are you doing, hon?
I'm good, thank you. Doing a lot better now. Thank you, Sim, Brainless, and James McNeil for helping me to buy the heat mat because, I had no idea how much I needed it after not having it for such a little time. I was in so much pain. So thank you. You guys are amazing.
Yes, well, we understand things like that. Yeah, exactly. So we're all like a big.
Making you feel happy, not giving you money. What the fuck kind of friends have you got, Brainless? Oh wait, don't answer that.
Villa.
No, we're a large extended Discord family, so all of us together.
It was something you actually needed, not just something fun you wanted. You needed that.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Mama, we understand for sure.
So we
Hopefully,
want
next
to
time.
have you have it as as soon as you can. You know.
Oh crap! Before we get further, I have to do this right quick, just for the heck of it. Put up the disclaimer.
Oh, the disclaimer.
Because we've gotten copyright struck a couple times. Luckily, they have loosened it and they have not actually struck us. But that's why we use that thing, because we try our hardest to give credit and to break things up and to make it so that it's not us just stealing people's content. We're not here to steal content. We're here to use their content, share theirs, give advice to it, and everybody's supposed to go there and show them support as well, because, well, that's not true. Sorry.
Well, not all of them need support. Only the ones we're positive about.
That we're actually doing news
some
things on.
need support, some need report.
Yes,
I
and
didn't
some
say
do.
that. Only in Minecraft.
But we don't ever ask anybody to go and abuse, threaten, or harass anybody on the sides of people we disagree with on this channel.
Yeah.
So we do not like Kenneth Copeland's and Greg Locke's and things like that, but we do not ask anybody to go over there and harass them or do anything harmful other than to legally report them if there is something that they are violating on the TOS.
The only time we've organized something like that is, for instance, when I found a video of animals being abused.
Yeah.
Or when I found an autistic child being abused. And we were like, fuck no, please report this. This is not only against YouTube's terms of service, it's fucking illegal.
And we don't ask to mass over report or anything, or to call a police station or a medical center and swamp them.
I was not supposed
to call we try to ask you to do it legally and in a proper way that just gets people to notice if those people need to be removed from certain places. But once again, we're here as a joke channel, just to have fun and just to make fun of things. I'm a tattooed carny, like we were talking about all this weekend, is about how all of us at these conventions and fairs, we're pretty much just carnies, but this is the new carny. Instead of it being at a carnival, we do fairs, festivals, and conventions that are oddities or tattoo or whatever, but we're still the carnies of the festivals. All right, let's say hello to the side chat right quick. And if there's anybody in the side chat who would like to jump on our stream, you just let us know in the Distant Accords, any of us. And if you've been on before, we trust you and we know you are, we'll definitely let you on. We love having more people, just like we always say, four eyes are better than two, right? So the more people that are here putting their opinion in on it, the more that I don't feel like I'm telling people how things go. There's more people to tell me if I'm being a dumbass. So really quick, let's say hello to the Skits.
Hi, Skits.
Oh yeah, that's the only one that we don't allow in here, right?
Yes, exactly. Band Skits. No, and we have the Super Ghosts.
You're right, shit lord.
Yeah, and then Glober Mama said she's working on videos right now, which is totally understandable. And then we have the Ox.
Oh, and your dick just walked in.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm trying to scroll down at this point to get there. And then, of course, my...
Sorry, just sounds nice to say that.
yeah, and then, of course, my pink penis is here as well. So, exactly, band skits, hashtag band skits. So, anyways,
I got him banned from YouTube.
We have a poll going in on the side chat. Go ahead and enter your vote on what you would like to talk about first, and then we will get to whatever's the order of the interest from there. And of course, Queen's Keisha's here. And speaking of that devil, Queen is visiting her granddaughter for a little minute, and will most likely be on a little later, but we're dealing with life stuff. Hopefully we have gotten her into an apartment. Fingers crossed. We hopefully paid enough money to get into it, and I still have an arm and a leg I still have to give to the people so that we can get her in there. But
Hey, look,
things
I told you I don't care how you give me the pound of flesh. I just need a pound of flesh, okay?
Yeah, exactly. So we're fingering that out. Like I said, fingers and toes and stuff like that.
Slim, and you just
Yes.
ram it in once, right? That's about a pound.
Yeah, there's about a pound of that.
Hey, she didn't mind how she get it.
Yeah.
By the way, Slim, I like the new skull on your mic.
Yes, one of my friends, he made this, and so I'm promoting it because he gave it to me. I just mentioned how awesome it looked, and it was a
Oh,
gift.
that's really
So,
cool.
yeah, and so I decided to use this.
I'm going to do that so we can see it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and
Oh,
so
that is well sick.
Yeah, it looks cool.
definitely, I really, really like it as well. So that will be my new thingy that I have on the microphone stand for a minute. So let's see. Everybody say hello to Bob.
Hey, Bob. Thanks,
And
Bob.
then thanks, Bob. Everybody put hashtag thanks, Bob, in the side chat for the 15 degrees per. And then hello, Geo Sam. If you would like to join us, Geo, just let us know and we will send you a link, one of us, because I think at least Brainless and I will definitely one of us will send you a link if you would like to join us. And we would love to have you on to go over the silly, crazy, weird things we have going. Only one of them is kind of a normal, I guess, theme for the holiday, just because it's like for all ages, I guess. The rest of them are pretty spooky or scary or like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's only the Halloween foods that is like, ooh, it's cute. The rest of them are actually kind of spooky and weird and like, yeah. Some of these cults we're gonna go over are interesting.
I do like learning about cults.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that we're hoping. Yes, that's one. Yes, definitely both. That's one thing we're hoping to like in the future. We're gonna try to do a collab on and going over some of these different cults that are happening. Ivy Kuhn just brought up a organization that abuses children and uses them for child labor and stuff, and we're going to be going over them in the near future. I don't remember off the top of my head the name of them that they went over, but we may show the commercial that they made for that in a second if we don't get more thingy-mabobbers votes in our poll. If you don't rub my poll, vote on the poll, then we will. But speaking of that devil, let's go ahead and just show. They already did the first episode of it on last Thursday, premiere Thursday. But here, let's go over the intro thingy, and then everybody go over to Ivy Kuhn's channel. If somebody could post their channel in the side chat, that would be amazing. I think I had to download it. Let me just double check if I downloaded it because I may not. Everybody say hello to Darth Atheist. Welcome.
Hey, Darth.
Let me just see over here. And it may be on their channel now. I don't know, but let me just call it. Okay.
Oh, I see what she covered. Okay. Yeah, the troubled teen industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I already have like a ton of research done on that. I did a series about it too. So whenever, like, if anyone wants to go deeper into it, just hit me up. I still have all of my source links and all of my information.
Sweet.
And I'm more than willing to share my research with whoever needs it.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
On topics like that, hell yeah.
That's what I was hoping. So, yeah, what we will be doing in the near future is once Ivy Kuhn does their special, or when they go over it, I think they're going to do 2 or 3 different thingies on it. I would love, especially with Queen and like Vila and all of us, to go deeper into it. And like, I didn't know there was like 100 locations here in Colorado or something.
Yeah, there's a shit ton.
Yeah, I didn't.
When I first started going over it, I went based off of the one that Dr. Phil was sending people to, which is owned by Aspen Education Group. Aspen Education Group right now only has 6 locations themselves. However, the hundreds and thousands of them that they used to have were shut down for various reasons. The rest of the locations within the troubled teen industry, they are owned by various people, but there's like this entire association that they fall under, and they get like certifications that aren't really real certifications. Like, they only recently made it to where you have to have certified teachers and therapists. They've been running for decades, and they just now need certified therapists.
That's crazy as crap. So really quick,
Like, bear in mind, they allow people there saying, we'll get your child has been sexually assaulted and is like lashing out. We'll fix them. Your child has an eating disorder. We'll fix them. Drug addiction, we'll rehab them and fix them. And they don't have doctors, nurses, medical staff, first aiders, or anyone that's even done a weekend course in therapy.
Well, see, it gets even worse than that, because the people that they prey on the most are the parents that don't know what else to do. They've tried a bunch of different like conventional methods, and they don't know where else to turn. So they prey on those parents that will pick up 2nd, 3rd, 4th jobs, thinking that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And then their child gets abused, and they're just like, oh shit, I fucked up. Like, it's an entire cycle that's just horrifying.
And the fact that they prime the parents before phone calls to say, oh, they're going to tell you all these lies to get you to bring them home, to hide the abuse, so parents don't believe it's real.
Yeah.
Sad.
Okay, so really quick.
Not sad, sick.
Yeah, so really quick, we're going to go over this.
At average, taken over a year. Every day. Literally hundreds of teenage children are kidnapped from their bedrooms, handcuffed, sometimes silenced with a gag, and threatened with consequences should they resist. Transported to so-called behavior modification camps. In these camps, they will be brainwashed, abused, and mentally tortured because their parents find them troublesome and rebellious. Most of these children become scarred for life. Many take their own lives because of the abuse. This is taking place all over the United States of America. The government does not do anything. It is legal kidnap at the request and with consent of their parents. The victim children of these actions go through a period of sheer terror. Their stories need to be published. These camps need to be closed, their managements and employees arrested and sent to prison.
Yeah.
This is what my video of next week is about.
So this already happened.
So
everybody, please go to Ivy Coon's channel, which is in the side chat. Let me go back over to here. It is right here. Go ahead and click on that and go check out the first episode that she did last Thursday about the subject, which goes over a good portion of the abuse, interviews of the people that were involved, and it goes pretty far into it. But we'd like to do deep dives where like we do an hour or 2 stream, and we let people ask questions, and then we can have all the research that all of us have done together. Because I know Mango and I think Vila has some information on them as well. So we all have a collective amount of information, bring it together. And I don't know how to stop them, but if we can legally figure out a way to stop them, I would fucking...
There is someone that is working really hard on stopping them.
If we can get...
Paris Hilton.
If we can... Yeah, okay, there we go. I just recently read that, right? It just was recently she began speaking out about it.
She began speaking out about it during her documentary that they did on YouTube. And
Okay.
then she started meeting up with other survivors of the industry. She started like actually pushing for legislation, and she got something passed, I do believe in Colorado actually, to like help
I hope
stop
so.
abuses. So we'll see how far
Was
it
it
goes.
Paris Hilton that started hashtag break code silence?
She started the hashtag code silence, but there's another hashtag that had been going around for a while. It was hashtag wasp something. Cannot remember the full thing, but it was a whole bunch of survivors that had started spreading their stories, and they didn't start getting attention until Paris Hilton was
Of
like, yeah,
course.
I went through it too. Like, you guys, this is actually really fucking serious.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that have come out.
Well,
Like we can.
then it's lucky for everybody that went through it that somebody as famous as Paris Hilton went through it as well, because
Yeah.
that's somebody with a voice, and it sucks for her, but like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and especially when you know who was fucking promoting the fuck out of it? Dr. Phil. You
Dr.
know how
Phil
many
sent so many people there.
you know how many people watch his fucking show a day or whenever he has it on? I don't
Like,
know. I don't know if it's once a week. I don't know if it's a day. I
he
don't
sent
fucking,
so many
I know.
people to the ranch that it
Yeah.
became a fucking meme.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
ranch
exactly.
became a meme.
Yeah. So let's get into a lighter hearted subject, even though we're going to be talking about cursed objects or whatever and spooky things.
yeah.
But if you have not voted in the poll, please do now, because it looks like Halloween foods is what y'all want, which is hilarious because we have Mango on the stream, and then y'all want to talk about food. Of course, you want to talk about food when Mango's here. I mean, duh! I should have known that was gonna happen. And speaking of that devil, do you have a horrible Halloween food?
I don't
Something
have a
maybe for us there?
Halloween food, but I do have a bunch of food links, so don't worry.
Okay. Would you try to queue up or find something that maybe be like the fall seasony kind of themed, maybe even like Thanksgiving or something? So if you could find
I can
something
see what I
just
can
in the
find.
sure,
Yeah,
sure.
because
If
Thanksgiving side dishes, because especially for me and Brainless, Thanksgiving isn't a thing. And half the side dishes we hear about Americans having normally are like, what the fuck?
crazy, yeah,
Like that
totally.
one with marshmallows.
Yeah.
Hey, that is a sweet potato casserole. And sweet potato casserole is very easy to make. It's just sweet potatoes that are boiled and mashed up with cinnamon, a little bit of brown sugar, some orange juice, and then you bake it with marshmallows on top. It's like a pie without the crust.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but as a side dish for a like main meal, that just sounds mental to us. Like
It just
to me,
completely
that
sounds mental to
like
me.
a cursed side.
Why would you put potatoes in there?
Can I ask a very, very ignorant question?
Go ahead.
No.
To the Europes, how many times do you have a holiday that has like 20 different side dishes?
Never.
Never.
Okay, that's exactly what I thought. I just did not want to say. I bet you don't. No, that's exactly what Thanksgiving is. It literally is turkey is the main dish, and then 20 other fucking side dishes.
Like,
literally, that's what it fucking
Christmas
is.
in the 90s, we'd have a few, but not a lot. And like it'd be more hors d'oeuvres before the main meal.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Or something like that. Like
Am I expressing this properly, Mango? It literally is turkey is the main, and then there's just like a crap ton of side. I mean, what would you call the rest of the? They're all side dishes,
it's all
right?
side dishes.
Yeah,
it's all side dishes and desserts.
Yeah, exactly. And it's insane to watch how much people fucking eat. And the tradition here, I don't know if you all understand this that are not from the Americas. You literally will eat as much as you can until you pass out at your family's house. You wake up and you eat more, and then you go home. It's a two version of it. You do not just eat like 1-2 time, and then
Yeah.
leave. You usually will eat, fall asleep, wake up, eat more, and then go home.
No wonder America's got an obesity epidemic.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, yeah,
No,
because like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade comes on, like all
Mhm.
of the main people that cook are cooking. Family starts coming in, like hanging out, doing the thing. Then you eat and you fall asleep during the American Kennel Association dog show.
That or
And
there's
then
football or something.
Yeah.
There's American football on or something, right? And then you fall asleep during that. As soon as it ends, then you wake up and you do your dessert version of it, I guess is the best way to put it, which
yeah, that's
it
when
already
you
has.
go into all the pies, or if you want more
Yeah,
side
then-
dishes or something, then you eat that.
Yeah. It's insanely, it's insane to watch, and especially when you realize that that's not how the rest of the world works, or like, you know, when you sit down to like an Indian dish or an Indian family thing, yes, they bring out like the main course, and then there's all these little things that you dip everything in, or there's little versions of other things, but you make things out of them.
Yeah.
You don't. It's not.
It's called family style meals.
Yeah. And it's not a million side dishes with a main. Technically, it is
So it's
a
one
main with
main
additives,
meal,
and you put. It's a build a block almost. It's Minecraft.
like a mini buffet.
For food.
Like my neighbors have been cooking for me family style when I've gone over, and like it's so nice because it does actually make you interact a lot more.
Yeah, because you have to be like, oh, excuse me, pardon me. Oh, you want this? Oh, how much? Oh, you want? You know, you have to interact with each other. You're walking
and
around,
also
and
everyone
you're like,
gets to eat it their own way.
yeah.
If you like it with more of this and less of this, there's no. So, families from like the eastern side of Europe to Asian, etc.
Yeah.
They don't have as fussy eaters generally. Their palates are way more advanced than our like Western children's, etc. So like it's very different the way they cook, and family style means that everyone gets their own way of doing it, and that's it. The meal is that meal. You make it however you want out of these things, but you only have these fucking things.
And that's the way that I wish that it would have been when I was growing up, and I way prefer this way more because I can only eat certain things because of my palate, and like I have weird medical conditions that have caused me to have stomach problems and bowel and other problems that you don't want to hear about, honey. And so anyways, you know, I would rather, instead of like having a complete dish made by somebody and you bring it out and you have to eat it that way, I'd rather there be like a soup or a certain thing, and then you have your different meats and your different vegetables and your different, all in different places, and I can build my own like taco or burrito, or you know what I'm saying? Like I know like that's. I grew up around Mexico, so that's the only like version that I can think of off the top of my head is that kind of dish, you know, where like you have a shell and then you put stuff into it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Schizomaroni said, just because Europeans don't have taste, don't blame us. Shots fired. I didn't say it. He wrote it down. Let's say hello to Demon
We've got taste. We just pick something and eat it. We don't have to overstimulate our taste buds.
I don't know where the idea that Europeans don't have taste when we're the ones that fucking set up the spice trade.
Yeah, well, okay, and I'm gonna be a dick really quick, and it's the British that don't have taste. Anyways, let's keep. I'm just kidding.
that does not include the Irish.
That's what I'm saying. No, the Irish and Scottish, dude. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. You can whip me later, Vila. Anyways, so the Schizomaroni sent me $5. So what that means is I take a swig of this horrible vodka that I have. Svedka vodka isn't that bad, but like straight up is. So once again, folks, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see me drink more hard alcohols while we're doing these streams, you send $5 to my PayPal and I will drink them. And it is helping send money to Queen so that we can make sure that we get moved into the new apartment and stuff, which we're hoping to have soon. So, objection. Did I?
We all know what you've
Once
been
ag-
watching, Demon.
Sustained.
Grounds.
No, and you don't say it. You hold up a paper these days.
Yeah. Slim, you missed it today.
Oh, wait, hold on.
He
Hold on,
actually
hold on.
had
Wait, hold on 1 second. I don't understand the question you're asking me. There we go. Okay, now
I do
go
not
ahead. Mila.
consent to be being called that name. I
It's
do not
not my.
consent to
I
that
don't
name.
know that name.
today.
Yeah.
He got put in the other room, right? Because again,
yeah.
he was doing his fuck shit. Well, he had a sign up say that he pre-printed saying objection.
Oh, cheese and rice, dude. I kept like going into it. Let me do this right quick. So here we go for $5. Thank you, Skits.
Thanks, kids, for making him drunks.
Bad vodka. Okay, there we go. All right. So, when I kept going in and out of the thing today, it was just her going over what they could judge and not judge on. So, Demon, some of us may not have. So, would you please put the link for that in the side chat so we can all watch that for sure.
Yeah, some people are dumbasses and they don't watch that much YouTube.
Oh my
They're
God.
they're on people's streams more than watching YouTube themselves.
Oh, shit. Way too much motherfucking YouTube.
Screw
to
you,
find all
brainless.
this crap for all of you. But anyways, for a millisecond, Mango, I thought there was a vending machine behind you that had all that shit in a vending machine. I literally was like, "How'd you get that vending machine?" Oh, never
I would
mind. That's
love
not
to
what's-
have a vending machine
Yeah,
back here, just like
exactly.
full of all of my random
all of
shit.
that. That would be great.
Like I even got Louise ears hanging out back
Oh,
here
it's
now.
so cute. Okay, Demon. Should we show it or should we? We're gonna show it. Screw it. I trust Demon. Okay. Yeah, we'll show it. And then if you haven't voted in the poll, please vote in the poll, and then we will go over the subject we were supposed to go over. We have been way distracted. Well, it's only 37 minutes. That's not as long as we've been distracted before doing these things. So here we go. Here's Demon Orbs short.
Customer states there might be something demonic in their luxury jet toilet. Let's have a quick look.
God damn it, that was good.
Oh,
that was good.
Yes.
All right,
As I
so-
always say, every time I see him, like that is
He
the devil
looks like a
incarnated.
demon.
Like, come
Yes.
on.
So, everybody go and click on that. Give him the views, the likes, and go to his channel and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Now we are going to get to. Okay, sweet. We'll do that after the Halloween foods because it seems like we're getting to the Halloween foods. So everybody, Brainless, if you want to take this down, we are at 53% Halloween foods, 24%
If
zombie
you finish
bugs.
it, just pops up in the chat.
Yes, so I'm gonna end it, and then will you just copy that and
I'm
I'll
rather
copy
interested
that. I'll
in
put it-
this
I'll
because
put it in.
I'm making a load of Halloween foods as well, like myself for me and Spawn.
some of these I didn't even understand were Halloween foods. I didn't know there were Halloween foods technically. I mean, I guess like spooky cupcakes or things that like have eyeballs in them, or you can like make little shots or like little drinks that have they look spooky, but I didn't know there was Halloween food.
So like
And-
I'm making pumpkin shaped cinnamon swirls.
Okay.
So it's not like a cinnamon bun. We use puff pastry instead of like a yeasty bready pastry.
Okay.
And instead of it being a swirl, I'm doing it like a wavy pattern, and then doing 2 circles round it. So when it puffs out, it should look a bit more like a pumpkin shape. Because it will have the grooves of the pumpkin and then be circular shape. And I'm going to paint, use food colouring to make the icing orange. And last year I made mushrooms from scratch, and I made them ghost shaped.
Okay.
Or at least attempted to.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Don't say that.
Some of these things can be kind of tricky to make. But anyways, so the weird Halloween foods Americans are devouring this year.
Yeah, because I think you're basically the only country that is that big with Halloween.
Yeah,
of course,
I wish we did Halloween as big. I'd love to have so much of the stuff that you guys get decorations wise. We don't get that over here at all. We don't get any of the good Halloween stuff over here.
Yeah, it's becoming way bigger because of corporations wanting to sell lots of things. So that's why. And it seems Christmas is dying off and Halloween is becoming larger. So in a couple of years, Halloween is going to be bigger than Christmas. But anyways, so need inspiration for any October galas. Google Trends has released its annual Halloween Fright Jest roundup of the most popular seasonal searches. And on the top of being well designed and purely entertaining, the portal offers a window into the bizarre foods and drinks other people are searching this time of year. Some of them are indeed spooky. The most popular Halloween foods according to Google. If you are attending any Halloween party this year, you may very well encounter a dough-wrapped mummy hot dog. Yeah. So the popular, delicious, easy-to-make Halloween finger food, which involves wrapping a hot dog in a crescent roll as it's mummified. And then you can, like, do things to it, like, put a little bit of red something in, or, put on thing, or cut their faces, or, make it look like it's a mummy inside of, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it more mummified itself. It doesn't say that. I'm just reiterating that there are things you can do to make them look more mummy-y than just doing that. But anyways, that's Google speak for when a search term rises by more than 5,000% within a given time frame. Ha, 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 ha. No, that was a bad joke. Okay, so also on the rise are spider-themed foods of all kinds. Search for spider devil eggs or spider cookies. Each double in popularity. The spider web taco dip is ranked number 2 among all trending Halloween foods. Speaking, what was that, Brainless?
No, like, how can you make a make it? What was it? A dip?
Spider web taco dip.
That's what this is. Yeah, that's what
how
this
can
is.
you make a dip look like?
Look.
Oh yeah.
They make it look like a spider web.
Yeah, they're not spider webbing it. They're just putting patterns inside of different things to make them different things and look like different.
Oh yeah, so just the first person sees that it's a spider web.
Yeah, totally.
Much, yeah.
And then, like, the finger foods in the background, they do kind of
what
like
it
fingers.
actually looks like for the guests. It's all about the gram. It's what it looks like on the Instagram pictures
it's
for the
first.
party.
Yeah, it's as soon as you make it, honey, and then it's so amazing, So yeah,
and then you throw it away and, like, don't have guests come over.
Yeah,
you know full well there are people that do that.
Or you feed it to the slaves that you have in your basement. I mean, you throw it out. That's right. Anyways, so let's go to, speaking of trending foods, number 1 and 3 are both related to the Hocus Pocus, surely due to the new version of it that came out, Hocus Pocus 2, which came out last month. It has been boosting Texan mom who went viral for claiming the film would unleash hell on your kids in their homes. She said it was satanic. Because it features two witches who want to eat children, which is the first one in an old fucking thing that they've been doing for
three
a long
witches.
time with witches.
It's 3
It's not an-
witches.
Yeah.
and well, whatever. I don't know. I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know if it's 2 or 3. But in the original, it was definitely 3 witches. Plenty of children eating people apparently want to eat Hocus Pocus inspired food. Because of course it's trending, it's a new movie, so everybody wants to. So they're making Hocus Pocus buns, Hocus Pocus Chardonnay boards. Am I saying
What? Chartreuse.
Chartreuse boards? Okay.
Charcuterie.
Chartreuse boards.
Charcuterie.
Okay, which came in number 3 as the most commonly featured. Wheels of Brie dressed up to look like the Sanders sisters. Oh, so they just took like a wheel of Brie and they just carved it to look like the witches. So cocktails and jack-o'-lanterns. Hocus Pocus also became a big search term in drink realms as a bunch of other really creepy stuff. Witch's brew, which seems to be a purple or green, depending on whose recipe you follow, ranks number 1 overall. So it's a green or purple drink. There is the brain hemorrhage shot, and that's what I was speaking about with like the little shot that had like little things in it. We've been doing those shots forever. I went to bartending school in 2001, and we are definitely making those shots since then.
The Witch's Brew one has been about for ages.
Yeah.
And the worst one I remember, don't know what you call it over in America, the cement mixer.
Oh yeah, screw that noise. Yeah, no, that's horrible as crap.
You know what? This will make you laugh, Sim. So when the male manager was teaching the new female bartenders about making drinks, he said, any of the lads are giving you issues, right? They want shots. They say, oh, I don't know, you pick. Make them a cement mixer.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? I'm listening in, laughing my ass off. And they show the ingredients, and it's like, why is this not a good drink? I don't know. It's like, drink it. Then you'll see.
Yeah.
And like, you drink it and you swish it in your mouth, and because it's Bailey's and vodka or something like that, it curdles in your mouth.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. So it was just saying, any of the men give you trouble, give them this. It'll make them leave you the fuck alone. They'll go away quicker than...
Yeah,
they will just fucking leave after that, mate.
It's almost like a surfer on acid.
Not heard of that.
If you want somebody to kind of go away from you, you fucking give them a surfer on acid. It's like Jägermeister and something else and something else and something else that is not really mixed together. It's not really that fun. I want to say like the Scooby-Doo or one other shot is kind of like that, where it's just weird things put together that like is not that great together. But anyways, so other than that, followed by the Beetlejuice, the Hocus Pocus, and a Black Magic Margarita. I've never heard of a Black Magic Margarita, so I don't know what that is. But maybe you don't want to drink from a boring old glass. Perhaps you prefer your booze served inside of some medical equipment. Who doesn't? Search for how to make Jello shots in syringes. That search is up 350%. So when we did a lot of stuff in Mexico and other large event places, they would already be doing this. They'd be putting shots inside of syringes. And when we did a lot of Halloween events, they served a lot of these a lot of times. So for like $5 or whatever, you can get one of these, and you'd like take it and like spread it in your mouth and give it back to them. And they would actually clean them out until COVID hit. And now I don't know how often they do this, but it was a common thing 10 years ago. And when we were doing events, large events.
Shots, and then club I used to go to, you know, the blood bags that you can get that you normally fill with sweets, like they would do those, but with drinks.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I swear down, I saw the girls that were handing it out had it hooked up on like the drip rack.
Yeah.
That you get at hospitals, and it just looked so good.
Yeah. We did that at a lot of our events as well, for spooky themes. So you might think the most common search related to jack-o'-lanterns involves pumpkins, but you would be incorrect. It's turnips, which may seem unlikely, but it's actually quite a bit of history, which I'm just going to say this before I even read it. That they believe that was the first jack-o'-lanterns was made of turnips. Because that was more prevalent around the time.
The first jack-o'-lanterns were turnips, based in Ireland and Welsh.
Because they were around at the time. There weren't pumpkins around. There were turnips around. So just because of history, exactly. Thank you, Vila. I just wanted to say that before I read it because I already knew that because I'm kind of a Hallows Eve I don't know. I have done a lot of research on the Hallows Eve stuff.
Do you want to know a funny story about the turnips, though?
Wait. You should save that for Thursday.
well.
Just joking.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So there is a old Irish legend about the man who beat the devil, right?
Okay.
He made a bargain with the devil, and when the devil came to collect, he managed to trick the devil, right? And I can't remember it word for word, but I know he tricked the devil multiple times, right? And finally, when he died, the devil made a deal that his soul cannot enter hell, right?
Okay.
However, he had lived such a sinful life, his soul couldn't enter heaven either. When his soul went to go to hell, the devil was like, no, remember our deal? No, fuck off, you're staying in purgatory. And he used an ember, and because it would burn his hand, he put it into a turnip.
Oh, yeah.
To light his way.
Okay.
And that's the Irish legend of how turnips became used as jack-o'-lanterns. I don't know what the Welsh one is, but they also have it with putting the turnips outside, and it's for like scaring away the evil spirits.
Yeah.
And there's also the idea of you put a candle in your window to guide your family to you.
Yeah.
So you can eat dinner with them, and a lot of people would set meals out for that. There's traditions of you would leave sweet cakes out for the dead to appease them, so they would eat the sweet cake and not your soul.
Yeah, totally.
Things like this. So that's where we think trick-or-treating originally came from, and how it became prevalent in America.
Yeah.
Was when the people immigrated over there, bringing these traditions of you go door to door, knock on the door, sing for them.
It was a scene,
and then they would give you a sweet cake as well, but you would go dressed up spooky. So
you're appeasing the evil deity through that thingy-mabobber and that.
It was so you wouldn't get attacked by the bad spirits as well. So you looked like them. All this, there's such beautiful traditions to Halloween. It's amazing.
Yes, and really quick before we get
hear
on,
all about that on the TMI show on Thursday.
Yes, and we'll go over all that. And really quick, the lantern or the turnip being turned into a lantern was the first warmed butt plug as well. Anyways, let's keep going on.
Oh, I should try that.
No, don't try that at home, kids. Please don't. You're only gonna burn your arse, and it's not gonna be good for anybody. But anyways, let's keep blowing up. So, Google's Halloween candy search data. Of course, we need to talk about candy. Of course, it is the star of Halloween, after all, or at least what everybody thinks of Halloween when they think of it in the Americas. I know that doesn't say that here, but I have to reiterate and put my 2 cents in. So the price of candy has gone up so much that actually there are people that are saying they're not going to be giving out candy this Halloween. So it says the search term reflects that the best deals on candy up to 2,100% this season, and it will seem people are leaving the pandemic era candy chute behind, opting instead for cute candy bowl to display on the front porch. Searches for Halloween candy bowl for porch has doubled. Most of the U.S. seems it's tackling the season head on, and for most of the country, searching for haunted house opportunities on the top of costume and appetizer ideas, but not in New Hampshire. Okay. Granite Staters will let you pry the candy from their cold, dead hands. This is the state's, it is the only state in the nation where searches for trick-or-treating opportunities outweigh those for haunted houses. Okay. Good on you, New Hampshire. Okay, well, there was that one. What was the next theme? Oh, I got it right here. Zombie bugs, awesome. This is going to be spookily, actually very educational, because I hooked, lined, and sinkered y'all. I clickbaited you all into thinking this was something different. Oh, I already have it here. I keep forgetting. So there is a mushroom that turns bugs into zombies that they are now growing to help fight cancer and COVID as well. So mushrooms that turn bugs into zombies is grown to fight cancer and COVID. So that's what it does to them. It makes them zombies, and they go on the top
of. Your mic is crackling again.
Okay, well, hold on.
Before it gets worse. No, I don't hear it anymore. Well, maybe when you're settled, the next thing for the tips would be get Slim a new mic. Well, let's not all talk at once.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that should have fixed it. Let's see. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Any ways is yeah. So remember, folks, the more that you make me drink, the more that we can upgrade equipment and stuff. And first, we have to work on getting the queen into her new apartment, and then after I go on tour from the 1st to the 9th, which if you look at the pinned message, if you can donate a little bit of money to help us go on tour to make sure that we can pay for snacks during the way and a little bit of gas. That's all we really need to help me and 3 other people go on tour. We're going to be going to Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, and we are doing 6 gigs in 9 days. So I will be driving hours and hours to get us there, because I don't mind doing it and I really want to, but we're going to be in an RV, and we need to still pay for like where we're staying, which is not free, to have RV parking in wherever that area is, and then food, and then gas. We are getting paid to do this, but that doesn't happen until after we do the gigs. So we still need a tiny bit of money just to kind of get to places and to make sure that like we aren't starving, which we will bring food and have things, but it makes it easier for us if we have a tiny bit of money to invest in these things going on tour. And then when I get back, me getting my punk ass to Queen. So that's the other thing. So yeah, if you have extra money to throw and to help us, cool. If not, we're not asking for anything from anybody. If you don't have it, please do not give if you do not have. Anyways, let's blow on with this. And it says, in the video game The Last of Us, the world's been transformed into an apocalyptic nightmare due to mutated fungus known as cordycepsis. I don't remember how to pronounce that in that world. Anyways, which transforms humans into cannibalistic zombies. That's a fictional scenario, but of course, scenario of course, but this parasitic mushroom actually does exist in real life, where it infects insects and feeds on its victim's body, then even changes its behavior before killing it and sprouting from its body. As gruesome as it sounds, sorry, this poses no such danger to humans and has even been shown to provide anti-cancer benefits due to its major compound cordycepian. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry. Anybody in the medical community or anybody that knows what that word is, I'm sorry if I butchered it. But there's one problem. It's really hard to grow in a lab. The typical method of growing the fungus is on grains like brown rice. However, the concentration of lab grown of that thing is much lower than those found in the infected bugs in the wild. Researchers suspected that it was due to the low amount of protein in the grain when compared to the fungus-affected protein-rich insects. The breakthrough published Wednesday in the Journal of Frontier in Microbiology. A team of scientists were able to successfully cultivate the thingamabobber containing high levels of the other stuff using the bodies of insects as the growth medium. This new process could lead to the research and development of a better cordycephalin-based anti-cancer treatment. The study's authors also believe that it could help treat COVID-19 too. Of course, all the insects are different from one another. Finding the right ones that are best to grow the zombie-making fungus involves an equally gruesome process of testing different bugs as a growth medium. Over the course of 2 months, the study's authors grew cordycephus on crickets, silkworm pupa, mealworms, grasshoppers, white spotted flower Schaefer larvae is what I'm going to guess this is what that says, and Japanese rhinoceros beetles. They found that the fungus grew the biggest on the mealworms and silkworm pupa. The highest concentration of the cordycepian grew on Japanese rhino beetles. Overall, the results were incredible. So what they're saying is, this just kind of says the same kind of thing, except for there's more people that have put in on it. So here's the head of the stroma. The stroma and is the thingamabobber of the fungus that's growing out of them. While researchers typically believe that it was a protein that helps create high levels of cordyceps. And again, I'm probably pushing the shit out of it, but at least I'm trying to say it. The study's authors found that the key was actually in the fat known as oleic acid found in insects. When they added the acid to the insect medium with low cordyceps, the compound growth was boosted by as much as 50%. This insight could help lead to the development of more effective cordyceps synthesis. So the same thing, blah blah blah, and so they're just using that to make this, because it just keeps getting into like more medical jargon, which is fine to go over. But if you would like to learn more about that, you can look that up. It is very young in the stages of development, so it's just a theory that they're trying to use to see if it will be something.
There's more things that use that same principle. There, I believe it was goats. There's a virus that that gets into their poop, and when they're infected, their mind gets changed into eating the poop to get more of the bacteria in. That's or the virus. It's weird. There can be creatures that can just basically alter your brain.
Exactly, and they're saying that like a couple things that people have been getting as certain diseases like Lyme disease and a couple other things, they may actually be controlling your thoughts. And I don't remember off the top of my head what their disease is, but they say that it's conspiratorial disease. Like if you have this, you're more likely to be conspiratorial. When I get find out a little bit more research on what that is, I will be bringing it up, but I'm not going to bring it up until I have a little bit more research on them talking about the conspiratorial disease. And it may be in DNA. They said it may be also family orientated. It may be in your genes somewhat, but I don't want to say all that crap until I have a little bit more research, and then we can delve further into it. So everybody say hello to Jay Troy. How are you doing?
Hi, Jay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get into the 15 scariest cults that you've never heard of. And how I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess that at least one of us on the panel has heard of each one of these. But we will see. If we can get stumped by not knowing one of these cults, it'll be amazing, because most of us actually, that's what we do for a living almost. Like we look into fucking cults.
The three of you have a good chance of knowing about them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So that's why I wanted to do this one, because I was like, and especially that's why I'm glad that the Mango's here, because I know that you know a lot about a lot of these things, and so that's why I invited you on, because I want to see if we can get stumped by one of these, and if we can, it'll be amazing. So
then it's scary that there are scary cults out there that you guys don't even know about yet.
Yeah, no. If we don't know about them, we will now. So hey, glad you just got home, and glad you are just relaxing. So hopefully you get to have fun with these fun things that we have for you. And then Demon says, I'm putting out a vending machine for Halloween. Got bills to pay. Exactly. All right, so here we go with these. So when it comes to cults, everyone knows the big ones. Johnstown, Scientology, the Taylor Swift fandom. But whenever there are lost souls searching for meaning, there are sociopathic swindlers eager to exploit them for their own financial, sexual, and plain old evil gain. And even if they don't earn the international headlines or the attention of your favorite true crime podcaster, that doesn't mean they haven't left a trail of destruction and sometimes actual death. So
Well,
15 is...
So far, I've learned that Plaid is evil. Thank you.
Yeah, Plaid is
And
evil.
apparently it's Johnstown, not Jamestown. So I'm
Yes,
already
Johnstown.
looking forward to what this writer said. If they can't even get the name of the cult right.
No, I said it wrong.
I
said it wrong.
I thought they wrote it wrong. Sorry.
No. I said it wrong. Sorry about it. It's Jonestown, and then
Plaid is evil.
Yeah, and then Plaid is evil. And I didn't even know about the Taylor Swift fandom exactly. That was a cult. But this is coming from Cracked magazine article or whatever they are, publication. So Cracked publication came from God damn it.
People doing too much crack.
Mad magazine.
I'm surprised they didn't mention Jared Leto's cult.
Well, they may later. We'll see.
Funny.
So the 15 is the family. The family, not that family, was an Australian cult whose sole purpose appeared to be proving yoga teacher and possibly God Anne Hilton Byron, whatever, with children, either their own or by stealing babies, by whom she turned into perfect blonde clones. It was the real Village of the Damned situation, except instead of terrorizing a town, it was the children who were terrorized, beaten, starved, and drugged. She was only ever fined $5,000 for a crime and died at the ripe old age of 98. And maybe she did have an in with some kind of deity. I mean, I guess if she was able to do all that, she's in rice. Maybe I do need to.
That one may still be running, but rebranded.
The family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, okay. So there's the Australian family, and then there's a separate family that's based in another country. The other family very much is still up and running. It's just that her version of the family, the Australian-based version of the family, is defunct. It's no longer running or rebranded.
Okay, I must be thinking of the other one, because I know there's still a headquarters running in fucking London.
Yep, that's the other family.
And by God, if I've ever wanted to do criminal activity, it's with a fucking petrol bomb over there.
Well, just wait till we
in Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Just wait till we get further into this. We'll probably want to in Minecraft a lot of other people after we get through more of this.
Actually do it, because unfortunately there are people in there that don't deserve that, i.e. the innocent children, and I would never hurt them more than they've already been hurt.
No, what we want to do is we want to expose these people, and we want to take them down legally and or through the whatever government that is around them, and we don't want to hurt the people that are involved, that are the people that don't know exactly what's going on. If you're blinded by a cult, it's not your fault 100%. It's the higher ups that we have the problems with, that we need to get rid of to get these people out of these things, and that's what we're trying to do. Like, the reason why I go over QAnon so much is because I want to try to like help get these people out, or I want to like I don't know. I don't know how to fix this, but going over this hopefully somehow like makes people not get further into it or never get to it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we stop people before they...
You'd rather do something than do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And because...
The least you can do.
Yeah, and because I know how to like... I could have started my own cult a long, long time ago and been doing all of these things that Eric Dubé is doing, or that Mark Sargent is doing, or all these other like big conspiracy theorists people are doing. I know how to do all that shit. but my consciousness won't let me. And so that's why I'm here to help expose them and talk about why I know these things are wrong, or how their tricks are being used to get people to be involved and to give them money. That's why we're trying to do this. So instead of flogging myself on the street, this is my repentance to all the fucked up shit I did when I was younger. Anyways, so the 14 is the Brides of Christ. Can you even imagine what the fuck these crazy people are about? Yeah. So in the early 20th century, Edmund Crefeld amused a following of a few dozen, listen to that, few dozen women who he convinced to renounce their husbands. Literally, almost every single one of them were married. Maybe like 3 or 4 of them weren't, or like 5, or let's just say a dozen of them were not married. 2 other dozen or 1 other dozen was married, and they renounced their husbands and families, which these women had children, to be purified with his dick, earning the wrath of a small town in Oregon. He was literally tattered, feathered, and run out of town, but he wasn't stopped that easily. At the height of his frenzy, or their frenzy, he and his followers lit a massive bonfire in the middle of the street to burn all of their worldly possessions and a stray dog or 2. Of course, why wouldn't they? I mean, when you have to give a repentance to, an offering to Satan, it has to be kind of souls, right? So, hey, why not a dog soul or 2? I'm just kidding.
Those are the purest souls there are. Dog souls.
Oh, I thought pussy was. I mean cats. Anyways,
no,
he ended up with...
No, cats are assholes. How they got a pure soul?
I don't know. I just wanted to say pussy. Anyways, he ended up with...
Just say it.
Well, that's why I made it into a joke. Or
I mean, dogs have the purest souls, but the devil loves pussy more.
There we go. But anyways, he ended up with several murderous husbands and brothers on his tail. Of course, if you take away somebody's fucking wife, what do you think that some fucking big ass fucking farmer dude is gonna do? We're talking about the 20th century in Oregon, dude. And there's farm country in Oregon. What do you think the fucking big ass fucking farm boys are gonna do with their brothers when you take away their wives? Try to come kick your ass. Anyways, one of whom eventually succeeded at killing him, but was acquitted because even the prosecutor was like, he had it coming. That's what I just said. What do you think is going to happen to you, dude? You're going to get fucking killed. Okay, so 13 is Synanon. Okay, never mind. Anyways, if everyone ever tells you today is the first day of the rest of your life, tell them to stuff it, because that phrase was popularized by Chuck E. Cheese. By Chuck E. Darridge, leader of...
I know this one.
Which was...
I know this one.
Which was like an NA. If you were forced to live through those people under the thumb of the guys who makes you yell at each other under pretenses of therapy and generally controls your life, your money, and your genitals. I went through NA multiple times. My name is Landon, and that's a whole different thing. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, there was nothing good about NA. The only thing that NA ever taught any of us was to hook up with other drug dealers on how to get cheaper drugs. It's the only thing.
So I know all about Synanon. Okay. So what had happened was... So Chuck Diedrich, right? He was actually going to AA. He wasn't part of NA. He was part of AA because at the time NA was not a thing. And by the way, you guys, the guy that created AA does not like or approve of what it has become. So don't do it. Even he says don't do it. But so at the time, they did not have the tools to work with people that were addicted to heavy drugs. And so Chuck was just like, you know what? I'm going to fix people. And so he started this entire organization that was using the yelling therapy. He called it confrontational
Negative
therapy.
reinforcement.
No, confrontational therapy is what he called it.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he would have all of the members like sit in front of each other and yell at each other about what their problems are and why they're terrible people.
Yeah.
Like they were being confronted with their problems. And so actually, Synanon is part of the reason why the troubled teen industry started. The tenets and teachings of Synanon, where you would be forced into a home to live in with all of these other people. You were confronted with your problems. You were told why you aren't doing it right. You were told why you can't get clean. They would make it to where you were in this program that you could never graduate from. You could never leave. And
that was the halfway houses?
Like, it was just this entire giant building down in
No,
Florida.
it was the therapy. Like, they... Confrontational therapy by default will not work because people with addictions had shit upbringings.
Well, that's
addiction is there because they didn't get enough dopamine as a child. So now they're trying to get the dopamine, and when you're in a institution where part of your therapy is you sit in a circle, one person stands in the middle and goes, "You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking junkie whore. Do you know why you're junkie? Because no one fucking loves you.
Yeah.
No one can love
really
you.
quick.
Really quick. Can you imagine how that's going to help you? It won't. And you're paying to be there to get better for something you will never get better for that way.
Yeah. And the judge makes you go to it. But that's what the halfway houses were too. Halfway houses were counselors are telling you your shit the whole fucking time while you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole to get better.
But it shouldn't be that way.
No, I know.
It's not supposed to legitimate places, legitimate halfway houses, ones that are fully vetted and stuff. They don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
but
I know.
The ones that are fully vetted, they cost more. That's the biggest issue. Like, a court's not going to pay for you to go to a good halfway house. They're going to pay for you to go to one that's cheap.
And I was talking about in the 1990s, early 2000s. It may be way better now, but like the therapy that like tried to put us through, that I went through, was like no bueno. And also the other thing, a lot
better now, but not
I
as
hope.
good as it should be.
But the other thing, like I will say really quick about NA meetings was the dude who was running ours in San Diego, he was an ex heroin dealer on the OB boardwalks where I also ran drugs. But literally, once we got in there and we were like, don't do drugs, right? Yeah. And then what we did is we just talked about our drug stories for like an hour or two. Literally, it was like, who can outdo their drug story? And that's all we did. Instead of yelling, we didn't go through the protocol of what they were supposed to do. It was literally like, hey, I sold blah, 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 and I did this and da-da-da-da-da. And then somebody else would be like, oh, yeah, well, I did that.
It was wouldn't just have done the yelling thing because Synanon and NA are not the same thing. They're totally different.
So on Synanon, what they did was they had the main campus. They eventually branched out and they opened other campuses. Those other campuses went under the name of Green Hill. One of those Green Hill campuses was specifically meant for teenagers. They followed all of the teachings of Synanon, where you can't graduate, you're stuck there, you have to do labor and stuff to get rid of your addiction and your issues.
Just like being gay.
Took those teachings from that Green Hill branch.
Yeah.
And they made other troubled teen industry schools. And that is what the origin of the troubled teen industry is. It's all Synanon.
Yeah.
Which is this guy's a massive prick. And like didn't he write books and shit? Like he had no reason to believe confrontational therapy was valid in any way, but he wrote a book on it and based therapy around it when he had no idea what it really was.
And really quick, let's just I want to say this. It's just like gay conversion therapy. there's this one group or this one little organization that began doing this thing, and they said they could do it and they never could do it, and every time like 50% of the time the pastors ended up having sex with the dudes in there, and they got caught and like got kicked out. And I think it's dissolved now. I don't think, are they doing conversion therapy?
Yeah, there's gay conversion therapy everywhere.
Well, I thought that in the Americas, go ahead, Nico.
No, I was going to say, currently there are about 300 schools within the troubled troubled teen industry that are advertising conversion therapy. One of which is in Arizona, and it's supposed to be like an all-girls school. So if you go there and let's say that you are female to male trans, they will force you to curl your hair, wear makeup, and wear dresses and stuff because there's no way that you're a guy. Like, that's how they believe. It's insanity.
Mango, you would know. I believe what you're on about, Sim, is they're not allowed to do electric shock therapy on gay children anymore as part of gay conversion therapy. However, they can do psychology on children as gay conversion therapy. They're just not allowed to beat the gay out of them anymore.
And
it depends on where you live.
And
England banned gay conversion therapy. However, in the bill that they wrote, they would not ban trans conversion therapy. So, fuck you, England. Fuck you.
And then really quick before we get further into this, which we're going to get into right now, the other thing is let's exercise people in Bible camp that we think are not stable instead of actually giving them the proper thing. Same difference, right? You're not paying attention to what's really going on, and we need to like go to the base of the problem. Are they really going through this? Do they have a mental disorder, or are they going through body dysmorphia? Or are they going? No, you're not looking at the basis of what needs the real problem and how to actually fix these things. I went through that crap going through body dysmorphia when I was very young. I was very, very confused at the age 14 when I started going through puberty, and I was like, I don't want to do what the boys do, and I want to like wear dresses and like hang out with my sisters and play Barbie, and like, I mean, I still want to do some male things, but all the dudes were like, football, yeah, the score of the team in our town, and I'm like, I don't care about that bullshit. I want to go do other shit, you know. And everybody's my stepdad was a 300-pound, 6'7" fucking bear. Like, he had, you know, he looked like an actual bear, not exactly the gay but he did, you know what I'm saying? If you would have put leather straps on him, he would have been a bear. But he was like, you know, go play football, go out there and go dig holes and go do, you know, do the manly stuff. And I'm like, I don't really want to. I want to grow out my nails and I want to do other things. Like, I don't see what. So, you know, I went through that young, and I know personally it is destructive to try to force somebody into something they didn't want. I wore a dress to school in 9th grade, and my family sent me to a therapist because they thought I was crazy. I mean, they thought that I was like gay in the closet, kind of, but they also thought that I was insane. And, you know, it wasn't known in 1995 for a boy to wear a dress, really. It was very, very out there. Okay, let's keep going on with the feminine and
one thing, Vila, like you said, like, fuck them for not including trans, but it's probably, if they did include it in that bill, they would not have gotten all the support they got.
It's going to be slow. It's going to be small steps. We're slowly finally get there. In 5 years, most of the world is going to have enough trans people, non-binary, gender fluid, blah, 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 on the spectrum of sexuality and or I don't want to say gender per se, because I don't think that is the correct word, but people that identify as different things, right? Where we're going to have enough people that are going to like stand up and put their hand up and go, well, we all need equality. It doesn't really matter as long as we stay within the law. Like, people aren't gonna like marry a fucking donkey, or they're not gonna marry something that's technically illegal. Yes, there are people that are kind of like marrying weird things, but like that's not gonna be a major thing. And that's what they're scared of right now is, oh my God, if we let this happen and this happen, then everybody and their mom is going to turn transgender and want to marry a hologram of somebody or something. No, honey, that's not how it's going to go. We all still are going to, just because we identify weirdly does not mean that we're going to like start marrying lakes or rivers or bodies of water. Or, well, I married my sword, yes, but of course, obviously, as a joke, because in Colorado Springs, they were scared that if we allowed gay people to get married in Colorado Springs, and this was like 10 years ago, that people were going to start marrying inanimate objects. So we were doing a show called Bloodfest one year, and a pastor comes out and he married people to inanimate objects. People brought out they're like irons and other like objects they were very close to, the steering wheel to their car, shit like that. He literally like signed the marriage for the marriage certificate for it. You gave him $21 or something like that. No, it was like $66. I don't remember. It was 13. It was blasphemous some way, and you did it, and so I fucking married my sword. And then I consummated the marriage by swallowing her live on stage. So I had sex with my, it's these people think that this stuff's actually going to happen and it's going to change like what's really going to happen. The only funny thing that I love about this, and before we get to that, I'm having a premonition that Skits is going to buy me another shot. And anyways, what's funny about this is these people think that this is going to cause the rapture, but isn't that what you motherfuckers want? Why are you so anti it? Just let it happen.
No, they're so anti the rapture in a way while being pro rapture, because they know that if the rapture were to happen, they wouldn't be one of the ones going up to heaven.
That's true.
We want the rapture to happen, but not by us evil leftists. They have to be the one to start the rapture, not us, because if we start the rapture, then it's not the holy rapture, it's the unholy rapture. And the other thing, random shit I don't know.
Well, the other thing about the rapture that transgenders does not, and weirdos and people changing their beings does not do, is nobody is taking over the Holy Land. Jerusalem has to be taken over by a certain people, the 12 tribes of Judah or something first, and then that all happens. So we're not 100% part of the plan by us being different. We're just making it so Satan is taking more over than anything. And we are being tricked by Satan to believe that we are mentally diseased and or have these feelings we're not supposed to have, to turn ourselves into these things so we have more demons that are here on the earth than there are the people who believe. Although anybody you talk to who, okay, I'm not going to say this, Mama's here, and I believe Mama probably knows more about the Bible than most people. But if you talk to any like Bible thumper, they don't fucking read the Bible. They don't know what's in the Bible. They may kind of read it, but they don't understand what's in it. Like if I go up to a lot of people who say they're like Christ Christians, right? I can totally fucking blow them out of the water with like talking about certain passages and saying certain things that they don't know about, and I can tell them to go look in the Bible and we can bring it up and we can go over it ourselves, and they're fucking flipped that. But of course, Satan gives me all those answers, in my head immediately, right? And so, like, it's all Satan. Like, hail Satan! No, I'm just kidding.
No, but Slim, also, like, if they want to be the one to start the rapture, then Why the fuck did they don't start fucking other guys in their ass? Like, hey.
Why don't they do what they did on South Park, where all the dudes got in the pile and they were all fucking each other to stop history from happening, from the future happening? No, it's all silly as crap. And of course, yeah, exactly, Super Ghost. It's a bunch of cherry picking. Like, you can find whatever the fuck you want in the Bible to some extent. And my favorite thing is, I believe in the Christ version, or I believe in Christ. I'm a follower of Christ, right? Which is the New Testament. And then you ask them about abortion, and you ask them about slavery, or you ask them about certain things, and they're like, well, I'm kind of, not for these or for, and you're like, wait, you're going back to the Old Testament. We're talking about New Testament. You're supposed to be God. You're supposed to be Jesus-y.
Not just that. They're going Old Testament, but then they're going New School.
Yeah.
Evangelicalism, because originally the evangelicals were okay with abortion, but then like Roe v. Wade, little bit after Roe v. Wade came out, I believe, preachers started going like, no abortion, brr. But there's so many things with them on record, documented, like saying that like abortion is okay, that's something that the woman has to make right with herself, abortion's okay, and now no, abortion should be completely banned. Why?
It's
Abortions are a medical treatment.
Yes, they are. And it's because what they think is happening is they want to get the white replacement theory to be reversed by having a bunch of white women, white teenagers have children. But if you look at the statistics on who get abortions, it's actually not young white women.
Yep,
it's
I have all the facts on that.
It's middle-aged and or older white women. Actually, people that are going through pre-menopause are actually having babies because they don't understand they're going through that. And that is a thing that I didn't even know until 2 weeks ago. I actually began reading on this and going, oh my God, all these women
also,
in there.
Like, we know these bans on abortions also are going to predominantly affect people
they're going to kill
of
people.
Working class and people of various minority groups, especially black women.
The vast majority of people that are currently having abortions are ages 23 and up. They are semi to fully college educated. They are already parents. The vast majority of them have been in long-term relationships, so it's a family decision, not just an individual decision. Just like, hey, we can't afford to do this right now together, so I don't know what type of argument they're trying to make, but this is very much a family issue the vast majority of the time.
And or having all of these is just putting women in situations where they can either go through trauma through their body and or die. There are opportunities.
Statistics are really fucked up.
Yeah, of course.
And because a lot of the statistics are taken with the way it's organized. So insurance companies are the ones that classify the names of it, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's a weird way because when they say it's like a medically necessary one, right? That means you're actively dying. Yeah. Whereas if you're told, if you continue this pregnancy, you and or the baby will die, but you're not dying yet. And you say, I will choose to get rid of the baby now, that is considered an elective abortion, even though by all rights and means it is not. It's not elective because you don't want to fucking have to have the abortion, but you're being told if you don't have it, you'll die, and the longer you wait, the worse it will be for you. But they do not class it as medically necessary until you are actively dying. Which
but it depends on the insurance company.
So bad.
It depends on the insurance company because Here in the U.S., we have so many insurance companies. We have so much privatized healthcare that one insurance company may say, "Hey, the doctor said that if you continue this pregnancy, then you or the baby will die, so it's medically necessary. So we will count that as a medically necessary thing, and we will cover it." But then the next one will be like, you have to be septic and dying currently in order for it to be medically necessary. It's very skewed because of the way that our healthcare is set up, and it's really fucked.
See, I've heard of it more being where the insurance companies are not so nice because, again, they don't want to have to pay out as much. An elective abortion is your choice, whereas the necessary one they have to pay out for because, like, it is a life or death thing, you know? So, like, I didn't know that they were nice. I thought they were all arseholes.
No, not all of them. Actually, so Medicaid, the way that Medicaid is set up, when you first get put on Medicaid, there's a base Medicaid plan. And then your state has other Medicaid plans that they will put you into if you don't pick your own. That base Medicaid plan covers abortions. The individual ones, you have to look into it, but there's a lot of them that will pay out a certain percentage if you choose to get an abortion because it is considered a medical procedure.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, but it should not be some of them. It should be. Yeah, never mind.
Dude, don't we
don't worry. We know. We agree. We all agree.
Yeah, sorry. And this is a man that's getting frustrated about this. Like,
trust me, everyone with a uterus, everyone that cares that doesn't have a uterus, like we all agree.
Yeah, look whose channel we're on, and of course I brought this up for a reason. We've talked about this for this long without me stopping it for a reason because it needs to be talked about. Anyways,
it honestly threw me through a loop when I found out that little thing, and then I realized how off the statistics truly must be. If how many of those that they have on the percentage of elective were really elective? How many? And I was like, fuck.
That's why when I look at the statistics of who gets abortions, I don't look at elective versus medically necessary because I know that that's going to be fucked. What I look at are the statistics of who and their demographic based off of because they don't do those statistics based off of insurance. They don't do those statistics based off of elective or medically necessary. They just gather all of the information based off of the profile that you fill out when you go to do that. It's all anonymous. It's all great.
Yeah. Okay, so Mango, I'm sure you know about the Anthill Kids, correct?
Yep.
So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to ask you to read this for just a second while I use the restroom, and then we'll come back because I already know about thems, and we'll go over in just a second.
Okay, so the Anthill Kids. It sounds like a 90s Nickelodeon show, but the Anthill Kids were actually a doomsday sex cult led by Roque Therlop. Do you believe that's how you pronounce that? Sorry if I fucked that up. So named because members, quote, scurried like ants while their leader supervised, end quote. While they all awaited the apocalypse, Therlop sexually abused and tortured his followers up to the point of pulling out one's teeth, then cutting off her arm because she failed to make enough business for their bakery. He almost certainly killed people, but he was only ever convicted of that, and bakers always seemed so nice. Yeah, like that was a thing.
You're not productive, so let's take away your arm so you can be more productive. Oh no. Never mind.
Well, no. See, if he shows everyone else that, oh, she wasn't being productive enough, so now she doesn't have a fucking arm, then everyone else becomes more productive, I guess.
Like, you're not productive. Here, let's give you an excuse. Like, now you've got a reason to not be productive, bitch.
And now everyone else knows if you're not productive, this can happen to you.
This is crazy about what they did.
Man.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to let us know about them before we get on? There's
More
a
often
lot
than
about
not,
them.
there is, and more often than not, I think this is something that people need to know and understand is the body parts that he would take, the things that he would take from you, he would more often than not, he would keep them. So then, like, if you die or something and someone else starts fucking up the same way that you did before, he can be like, hey, guess what happened to them? Look what I have. Do you want to be up there too? Do you want to be another trophy?
Yeah, it was very scary about how we'll do a little bit more of a
Very serial killer.
they were around for how long?
Oh, it was a
Couple years?
long time.
I was thinking
All things
10 years.
considered, yeah. Like
I was
considering
thinking
how
around
often
that.
cults start and then they end within like 2-3 years, the
It was
Anthill
like
Kids were considered a long-lasting one because it was like 12, I think.
at the least there was, right?
Yeah.
So we'll definitely do either a deep dive or we'll go further into that because that is crazy. And once again, we all know, well, some the people that are here on the panel, and I'm sure the people that are in the audience, we know about these thingy-mabobbers. We've been delving into this for a long time, and yeah.
Like, if you are ever going through a shit time in life, right? Someone's died. You've just broken up with someone. Like, marriage has ended. You just moved to a new area and you don't know anyone. And some person starts coming up to you talking about their group. Run. You are at your most vulnerable to be susceptible to a cult when you're at these moments. Most people think, oh, it's got to be simple. No, when you've moved to a new area and you don't know anyone, you're looking for friendship, right?
Yes.
You're just as vulnerable then. Just as vulnerable. Be careful. They don't actually care about you. They don't want to make friends with you.
No,
they don't want to make your life better or heal you or make you happy.
There's
they
a
want
grift.
to hurt you.
There's a grift, a scam in there. They want to molest you some way, shape, or form. And the only way you should say yes is if you run a podcast and or have a YouTube channel and you need content. Only time you should say yes and just go for it until you can make money off of it, then leave. No, I'm just kidding. Son of a beach. Anyways, that's what I did. Anyways, let's keep going. So the next one is the Black Burn cult. In the 20s, May Otis Blackburn started telling people that angels told her when Jesus would return and to come with her to a cabin in Simi Valley if they wanted to hear more. But mostly what happened was generally the cult stuff like animal sacrifices and naked dancing. Ooh, I like both of those. Anyways, things started going south when Jesus kept failing to appear, and the body of a teenage girl was found under the cabin. And after Blackburn was acquitted of fraud, it turned out the girl had died of a tooth infection. She disappeared from history. She could be right behind you now. Ooh, okay. So
that's
the church
sad.
Yeah, I know. Like, unfortunately, when a lot of these
infection is serious, but just imagine that meant that girl was kept in that cabin away from a basic medical issue she could have got help for immediately. Why would they stop her going to the dentist to get medication?
I mean, at the same time, though, it was the 1920s, so her tooth may have hurt, but she may not have known that it was an infection. And like, even if she had gone to a dentist, like, they would have put her through more pain to be able to get rid of it.
And it wasn't that 1980s.
No, were antibiotics discovered by then?
30s, 40s?
Yes. No, never mind.
But it still says, but still, that's.
It's still horrible that a teenage girl died at this cabin and no one sought any type of help or any sort of anything, and they just stuffed her under the fucking cabin.
For someone that apparently believes in Jesus to not give her a Christian burial, to shove her under
they may have thought she was, they may have thought she was possessed or a demon or something. Because can you imagine the screams are from somebody going through toxic rot syndrome or whatever the fuck it's called when
I've had a tooth infection that
too.
swelled up so badly, I had to have emergency surgery. I had to have someone artificially pump my lungs for me, because during the surgery for your teeth, you can't have the same mask on or things like that, right? Yeah. I nearly lost feeling in my face because the damage nearly hit my bone and nerves.
Yeah.
And by the time I noticed the pain, because I didn't notice at first because the opioids I'm on, it numbed so much of the pain. By the time I noticed, I was nearly passing out in pain. I was shaking. It was worse than childbirth. That's how bad it was. And imagine that's what she went through and died from it. That's why I got so fucked off about it, because
being a pain slut, where like I can go through crap tons of pain. Mouth pain is the most unbearable that I've been through. Getting 4 molars removed, one of my other back teeth, getting my tongue split, everything in the mouth fucking sucks balls getting done, and it is like horrible, and like you feel it throughout your whole body and throughout your whole skull and head, and like it's not fun at all. So imagining what she had to go through, and they probably just let her die very, very slowly through the infection, because what else did they know what to do other than throw holy water on her or try to depossess her, unpossess her, and just, anyways, let's blow on. The next one is Church of the Firstborn of the Lamb of God. Oh, these motherfuckers. God damn it. All right, so the Church of the Lamb of God was fairly run of the mill fundamentalism Mormon sect until founder Lamamala Blamala Shamalama Bling Blong LeBaron died. And the reason I said his name wrong is because I do not like giving credit to any of these motherfuckers. We like to make fun of them as much as possible, so I'm not ever saying any of their names fucking right. Died, and his son Joel took his place, which pissed off the older son. It almost is evil, but it's Ervil. Yeah. Who declared himself the firstborn of the Lamb of God. Oh, the band, the firstborn of the band. Never mind. Sorry. The biblical. Never mind. Anyone who didn't follow him was asking for bloody vengeance. It was like Game of Thrones, but with bonnets. It turned out Ervil was mostly interested in killing his own family, and the whole thing fizzled out in a mess of death and prison in the late 80s. Never trust a man named Ervil LeBron. I don't need to press that. So the Yachi cult in the early 80s, a Nebraska high school dropout and a manual laborer named Michael Rayan, I'm just saying because I don't like saying their name properly, claimed to be possessed by the archangel Michael, as a sort of liable to believe the sort of things was believed it. I said that wrong, I know. His cult was confusing, as it claimed supremacy over the Jewish people, but used the ancient Hebrew word for God and kept kosher. Let me say that one more time. And he kept the ancient Hebrew word for God and kept that kosher. But things seemed mostly fine until the two followers questioned Ryan's obviously fake miracles, and he responded by horrifically abusing them in just about every way possible before brutally murdering one of them and the other's 5-year-old son. Cult leaders really don't like to be questioned.
Fuck.
Yeah. If you would like, anybody would like to go further into any of these, let us know in the side chat and or the comments in the future, or let us know in Discord. We can definitely do deeper dives into some of these, because I didn't know 100% about this one, but again, it's a very small thing about a small thing. It's not really about a cult, right? I mean, like, there's not very many people involved in some of these very, very small factions, and that's why I don't think I know I haven't heard of some of these. So the zebra murderers, I mean, it's kinky to like wear a striped suit while you, never mind. But hey, white supremacy isn't the only kind. In the 1970s, a terrorist cult of black men who called themselves the Death Angels, who became known as the Zebra Murderers after a special police radio band assigned to the investigation, killed or tried to kill at least 12 white or uncooperative black people in San Francisco. Sorry, I got stunned on the black people. Now it makes sense. It could have been men or women. So that makes sense. Sorry. But that number may be as high as 73. Oh my, what the fuck? How do you go from 12 to 73?
Okay, so 12 were only confirmed as a part of the zebra murders, but because of the way that they operated, because of who all was involved and how many deaths occurred at the time, it could be a much higher number. It's just that those are unconfirmed.
Well, 73 from 12 to 73 is a huge fucking jump, but I do get what you're saying there, Mango. According to one members advanced through the cult via how many people they killed and how creative they did it, like some kind of deeply morbid reality competition. I've heard of like things that are kind of like that through gang rankings or certain clubs and stuff. But anyways, the Guaranas cannibals in Brazil, 3 people were killed by a throuple.
A throuple. Like a couple, but 3. Throuple.
A throuple. Ooh, kinky. After a sadistic dude at the top of the triangle convinced his gal pals that killing and eating 4 people corresponding somehow to the 4 elements would open a porthole to paradise. See, when I was a teenager, it was really easy to convince people of this, but like it takes a lot of eating human flesh to get that to happen, and never mind. They even kidnapped their first victim's daughter and raised her for 4 years as their own. We'll never know if it would have worked because they were tracked down after using victims' credit cards, and their daughter told police everything.
I'm not sure if this is the one I know of or not. If it is, the idea of calling it a throuple is a bit dicey. If it is the one I'm thinking of, it was a couple that went out killing and then found a third woman and effectively kidnapped her, brainwashed her, and enforced her to be the third.
I think that is the exact one. I think this is the right one.
Okay.
Yeah, so the third one, it's a bit iffy. She's not as bad as the others. People are like, why didn't she run? She was in an abusive relationship.
She was brainwashed and abused.
And also she was scared to leave the fucking child with these killers.
Yeah. Okay, so number 6 is Los Narcados Sandalicios. I'm sure I butchered the fuck out of that, but again, we're not giving prominence to any of these things. We're just talking about them. So Adolfo Costanzo started out selling protection spells to drug dealers, but as he gained power within the cartels, he also gained a band of followers the media called that, who fetched him human sacrifices from Mexican underworld to power his magic. It was an effective strategy for a while, but then they snatched a white tourist whose disappearance
my
the police finally noticed and did not ignore, and that was over for the Costanzo.
I know this one.
If any of this sounds familiar, it's based on the 2007 Borderland starring Ryder Strong. Yep, dragged Sean Hunter into this. So it was
the movie Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World. I'm sure you remember that show. He was like the lead of that movie that portrayed what happened with that particular group, and the movie was terrible. Not gonna lie, like it was not.
That's what I heard. That's what I
I've
heard.
not seen the movie, but I've seen a brief thing on that murder, and it was fucked up.
Yeah.
They got one of the people to say where they saw graves being dug. It was a caretaker there. He had no clue for the most part. And he's like, oh yeah, here you go. And they're like, okay. And it's like, oh yeah, and then there's like 30 more holes there. And then there were like 50 more there. And they were like hundreds just everywhere. They found like the torture room, skulls everywhere.
Yeah.
And the American government, no. So they were trying to cover it up. They weren't caring. And the family were like, no, he didn't go missing. He wouldn't just disappear. He's not fucked off to go have a new life over there. Something's happened to him. No. Yeah. Something's happened to him. And they got protests going. They kicked up such a fuss. And the government looked into it and were like, oh, shit.
So, let's just welcome in our sexfind.biz. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the views.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, thank you for. This is how you know that you made it in the YouTube industry, is if you get the sex bots in your chat. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's keep blowing on with the next one, and it is Magnula Souls. At 16, sex worker and fortune teller Magnula Souls caught an eye of a pair of dudes who had an unusual proposal for her. They'd convinced this tiny farming town that they were the prophets, but the farmers were getting antsy, so they promised to bring back a goddess. Would she help them out? Sorry. She would, of course.
They must have under the El Dorado as kids.
Something like that, I believe. I think that's the Magnum. I think. And under her leadership, the previously tamish ritual orgies turned into literal bloodlust. She sacrificed at least 6 people, mostly doubtful followers, and drank their blood before she was caught. She's regarded as one of the few documented instances of sexually motivated female serial killers. You go, girl. That one I knew a little bit about, but I think that you're right, Vila. But this one I'm not sure about. The Kid Willie. There we go. Thank you. Sex cult. You can clip that later. Anyways, in the incredible, unfortunately named Welsh town of Kidley, Colin Batley, a handful of adult women who followed him lured troubled teens and preteens to their homes and then trapped them into sexual slavery. It would sound like a depressingly standard sex trafficking ring, except for the whole thing was cloaked in a satanic ritual. Hail Satan, with girls undergoing an initiation rite they didn't know would include sex with Batley on the threat of death, and then forced into satanic orgies, Remember when we thought that satanic panic was overblown? Wasn't that nice? So just because one or two little people or a couple little so cheese and rice. Okay, so the satanic panic said that like 80% of Americans were fucking satanic and they were taking over the country and blah blah blah. Little factions or little cults and just small groups of people doing things they thought they were doing in the names of Satan is not enough for people to freak out and think. And
Most
now
of the people got that shit from the satanic panic. They wouldn't have known anything about it
and
if it
or
weren't
movies
for the whole satanic panic and they're doing
and
this,
or
they're doing
yeah,
that, and all
yeah,
of a sudden those
totally.
people did it and did
They
that
were-
because
they
they're like,
were-
oh, cool.
They were, yeah, they were being copycats of it. There was no doctrine. There was no Bibles. There was nothing written anywhere saying these rituals were actual things. They were looking at videography, photos, and news clippings and write-ups that they thought were this. And the other thing about some of these things that happen, and it's been happening throughout time, is people with mental disorders will hear voices and they will say they're doing this in the name of a demon, a negative deity, Satan, Lucifer, you know what I'm saying? So multiple things. This is not something new. This has been going on throughout time since religion has been a thing. It's good versus evil. When people have evil thoughts inside their head, they think it's for evil deities. It is not really Satan.
Is real.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
would it
yeah.
happen to that extent if religion wasn't shoved down everyone's throats? How would they have a demon talk to them if they weren't taught about demons?
I still think there would be some kind of correlation with something. It just would not be correlated with that. But we are by people doing exorcisms and not actually giving mental health credibility, we are making it worse. We need to, when somebody says something negative is causing me to feel this way in a certain thing, we have to go, okay, now let's go talk to somebody. Let's go try this and try that. And the other thing that needs to happen through the stigma of a medication is don't let people think that they're the only ones being medicated. All of us are medicated. What, 80% of Americans are medicated, if not higher, right? So that's the other stigma that we're having with mental disorders and mental therapy, is they think, I'm the weird one if I keep doing this. No. If we all keep doing this, I can't
handle this. Why everyone else is okay, but I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Unless there's something wrong with me.
Yeah. No. We're all disordered. We all need medication, technically.
Sorry, that is what I was trying to get at a minute ago. Not saying people wouldn't hear voices. It's if we didn't have religion saying these are demons, you wouldn't think you're hearing demons. You wouldn't attribute it to this. You'd be like,
no.
Why am I hearing voices? And people would get help because they're not attributing it to some supernatural shit.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to be exercised.
I really phrased it badly the first time.
No, and that's why I was trying to expand on it, and that's why we're here where we're at. Thank you, Vila, for sure, for bringing that up and springboarding or letting me springboard off of that. That's what it is everybody needs help some way, shape, or form. Let's all keep working on it as a community to make ourselves better so that we can have a better community. So do not stigmatize going to therapy, going to counseling, having your children that have to go through that same stuff, you yourself going through it. If you have to take medication, it's not stigmatized. It shouldn't be stigmatized. We all have to do it. Look at how psycho we all are. I mean, like, I'm literally psychotic as fuck. I mean, duh, look at me. But we're trying to balance the ebb and flow and make it so that we're all sane enough through the proper avenues of therapy. And that's what needs to be pushed completely.
It's okay to not be okay.
Well, yeah, exactly. And just remind everybody, most of the population is not okay. So let's talk about it. Let's go have a fucking therapeutic session. Let's do this. Let's do that.
If you ever have someone in your life say to you, your problems aren't that bad, look at X people here, there, wherever.
Yeah.
Tell them to go fuck off. Because it doesn't matter that there are people that have it worse off than you. You don't know
it's
them.
A problem for you.
You can't understand their problems. You only know your life and your experiences. And if what is happening to you is the worst thing happening to you, you are worthy of that help. You are worthy of feeling that. Just because someone has it worse off than you doesn't mean you're not justified to feel shit about the thing you're going through. There are people that have it better than you when you have your best day in the world. Should you not feel good by that logic?
No.
Oh, another thing real quick is the reason that male suicide rates are so much higher than women's suicide rates is because the toxic masculinity of the everything saying, oh, you can't handle your emotions, you can't bottle it all down, you're not a real man. Guess what? You're a real man for having your own feelings and your own emotions and your own issues. And you should really, if you feel as though you're having such a strong issue, find someone to talk to about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
You deserve to be here. You are worthy. You are loved. Go do what you need to do. Help reduce the rate.
And real women don't care about men that show emotions. If you ever have a woman, if your girlfriend says to you, genuinely, because I jokingly say it, they genuinely say, man up. Why are you crying? Why are you being a little bitch about this? When you're upset, she is a bitch. And leave her. You deserve better. I don't know who the fuck you are. I know you deserve better. Because no one deserves that.
Yeah, and then really quick before we get further into this, I paint my nails. I wear dresses. I still will beat the fuck out of somebody who's fucking with our friends or whatever. I can still be masculine as fuck. But I choose to sometimes not be in the same things with other people. I know drag queens and people that dress that are the other sex, and they'll kick your ass faster than anybody else. You know, like, so that doesn't, those things don't matter in those aspects. It's how you present yourself, what you want to present yourself in, and how comfortable you are in your own skin. That's what really freaking matters, and how this world should work is your feelings for yourself and screw everybody else. So anyways, let's get to the third one, which is the movement of the restoration of the 10 commandments of God. Oh, cheese and rice. God damn it. I almost had an aneurysm reading that. The movement of the restoration of the 10 commandments of God started out as little more than a group of hardcore Catholics. Guess what their major cause was? But then they got all Armageddon-y, claiming doomsday would come in 2000, and spending the next several years preparing for it. When that didn't happen, the group's leader burned down the church with themselves and hundreds of their followers inside.
Oh
my God, they couldn't have just done the normal thing and claimed a math error. Cheese and rice. I didn't know about them exactly. Yeah. One Taste is allegedly like an MLM that forces you to sign up for sex work along with your starter kit. On the surface, they were just selling exhibitionary priced workshops to teach women how to have great orgasms, and via getting fingered by some strange dude. I forgot about that. I read about this. Oh, cheese and rice. So that's already weird, but members are also compelled to sell workshops to others. And if they find that they can't keep up with their mounting costs, one woman says the company advised her to get a sugar daddy. And wouldn't you know it, they know so many that they could hook up with them. Though she said she wasn't attracted to her new sugar daddy. She said one taste taught her that basically ugly sex is hot. It's the only cult curbing lines from Sex in the City. And then the last one is...
So they were grooming people for incels.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah,
it was
pretty
for
much.
it was for older men. And
Hot. Like, that's so hot.
That's so hot. Oh my god. Anyways, Saketo Eto claimed to be a psychic healer whose talents was literally beating the devil out of her followers with drumsticks. I saw a video of this and it's fucking weird as fuck. It's just so happens that the people who had devils in them tend to be people she didn't like or displeased her in some way. Eventually, things went too far, and she and her followers beat 6 people to death. She beat 6 people to death. The Ito became the first with drumsticks. I don't know how the fuck you do that shit, though.
Are we thinking of the same drumstick? Because I'm thinking of the drumsticks that, like, you know, the rock band drummers have, like in that picture.
That's supposedly
do they mean the big ones, you know, with the fat round knob at the top.
No, supposedly they were like this kind of stick. But
Jesus.
I know.
How?
She became the first executed in Japan in 15 years in 2012. Japan does not fuck around, you guys. All right.
Some weird
15 years for for killing 6 people.
I guess so.
So Japan does fuck around.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, so the last one is... So we're going over vampire autopsies and how in the past they believed that people were vampires because of what they dug up. Most of us understand the concept of like why certain things happen when they thought they were vampires because of dead bodies. Anyways, in 1732, a monk named Antone Augustine Calmet, I think is what it is. Calmet, okay. Wrote about a very specific type of scientific investigation. The explanation of a number of dead bodies and hungry to determine if any of them were in fact vampires. Calmet describes one man whose body was exhumed a month after being buried, which the point was exhumed to discover all indications of arc vampire. What led them to this conclusion? His body was red, his hair and nails and beard had grown, supposedly, and his veins were replenished with fluid blood, which flows from all parts of his body upon the winding sheet that was encompassed him. Calmet wrote, but 18th century Europe wasn't the only place in which science was used to justify the existence of the paranormal. In a new article...
Right. Like, we know fingernails, and hair don't actually continue growing once you died. That's just a myth. What happens is it appears that they've grown because of the tightening of the skin and the fact that your cuticle recedes backwards towards your hand, like the palm of your hand. So it looks like your fingernails have grown. They don't actually continue growing. It's impossible.
It's called dehydration as well.
Yeah, dehydration causes all these things that makes it appear. like this has happened. The same with like after a month he appeared seemingly well preserved. Well, what was the weather like then? What was the conditions of the tomb he was kept in? It wouldn't have been necessarily blood that was there. It would have been another liquid. All these sorts of things. Like, we now know so much more. Obviously, we know he wasn't a vampire in the first place. That's just fucking logic.
Yeah, and that's where we're getting at for sure in this.
Yeah, like
we're hiding in the shadows. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just the differences of even now today, people still believe some of the little things that back then they used to justify thinking that they were vampires.
Exactly, and that's what we're getting into. So, as White notes, many of the details that led to people who exhumed bodies to believe they were dealing with vampires were actually evidence of the presence of tuberculosis. And while no one's written an winning a horror novel about tuberculosis, it also, by virtue of being real, is a lot of scarier than vampires when you think about it. But still, the idea of detailed autopsy of a vampire is compelling idea, whether it is fact or fiction. Blah blah blah. And these historical accounts show the tradition of digging up suspected vampires and investigating their remains persists for generations. A bizarre blend of science and superstition. So that's pretty much like we already kind of like knew that exactly the thing
if you want to know some weird ones, then
yes.
So in America, there was a big thing with the vampirism, where a family got, I think it was cholera.
Okay.
And were dying. However, they believed that it was a vampire coming back and killing them.
Yeah.
So what they said was they had to dig up the person. They investigated and were like, oh my god, they've not decayed. Well, it was winter. They're not going to.
Yeah.
They burnt the heart of the of the girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And made the sick person ingest it. And they believed that this was a cure for being targeted by a vampire.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty weird story, but yeah, like they're like with the witch finders that went around with the witch hunts, people going around with these sorts of things, going around to villagers who are being afflicted by diseases and being fucking snake oil salesmen. Oh, we can help you. Yeah.
Really quick, my favorite thing about the snake oil salesman thing that happened that I know of was what they did is, how did he exactly do? Okay, there was a gentleman who was selling pills that would get rid of your tapeworms. I think it was the tapeworm scam. And what he did is he gave you this little pill, and it was a gelatin pill that had a little foam strip in it, right? And so they told you to take 1 or 2 a day or whatever, right? And the foam would not pass through your digestive system. So they said on the bottle, like, look it and see if you see a stripe thingy in your poo. And so, a couple weeks later, you see these things in your poo because you were taking these things. And then he'd come back like a month later and he's like, oh, you see those things? Let me give you the actual detoxer of that. He's like, I gave you the thing to wash them out. Now I'm going to give you the detoxer to it. And so he sold you 2 different things to get rid of something that they totally made up. So same difference, like they give you the problem to get rid of it, Okay.
That's crazy. Fuck.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
not heard of that one before.
Yeah, it's an old Wild West thingy-mabobber. We can definitely go over it in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I have a handful of other little scams that they did in the old Wild West to get you to believe that snake oil was happening or certain things were happening because they preempted it and then came back in a certain time to solve it again or whatever, you know. Like the proof you have the disease by taking something and then the solving of it. That doesn't make any sense. Like nowadays when you think about it, you know. Back then you can convince people that don't know how to read a bunch of shit, you know.
There are still scams like that going around on YouTube.
I'm sure today.
Not YouTube, Instagram.
And TikTok. TikTok is really fucking bad right now for that shit, right?
Like
for
the
sure.
amount of like mini scams I've seen advertised on Instagram, the little short videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Mental. Like a lot of them around skincare because skincare is like mad popular at the moment. But people are still into wellness, skincare, good skincare regimes, being useful, detox teas, things like that. And anyone's talking about detoxing your body of parasites.
Yeah.
And I didn't when you were talking about the gelatin tablet, I didn't realize until you, like you said, that it was Wild West. I thought that was a current thing because, like, I swear that sort of shit is still happening.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's still happening. It's still very much happening.
So really quick, they've done peer-reviewed studies now on ivermectin, the thingy.
Yeah, the ivermectin.
Yeah, the ivermectin, and they found out for sure it does not help you at all with COVID. So
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, of course.
One of my favorite things ever is, hey guys, if you take this off-label, if you don't do what it's prescribed for, like if you don't follow the instructions, you could become infertile.
Yeah, all kinds of fucked up shit. It made people's anuses blow out and all kinds of fucking weird shit, you know, because they didn't take the right dosage.
Think that a dewormer?
Yeah, well, they don't understand the concept. They don't know.
It's like the people that ask you to give them fucking.
Okay, so one thing you have to consider is that ivermectin, when you have people from, say, the Middle East that move over to the U.S., one of the things that is prescribed to them is ivermectin because there are certain diseases, there are certain parasites, there are certain things that they can carry based off of their environment that they previously lived in to the U.S., which could become a problem for other people.
Sure,
things
but
that they aren't used to.
But what's the dosage?
It's very minimal. It's very specific.
It's like millimeters. It's like
milligrams. They're like little milligrams.
Ivermectin.
No, there are humans that are given ivermectin, Vila.
Yeah, no, it is a human thing as well.
People from the Middle East that move over to the U.S. and to other countries in which they are in a different environment can be prescribed ivermectin.
But
that was their entire thing.
Oh yeah, but we have a different
basis of the argument.
But once again,
compared to the one for horses.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Once again, there is a human version of certain cures for certain things, and there's versions for animals. So we may take a dewormer.
They were going based off of the Middle Eastern ivermectin, not the horse ivermectin.
Yeah,
making
exactly.
That clarification for
people.
So
there's two versions of it. There's the human version, and there was the horse paste. And the horse paste, you put a crap ton in their fucking food, or you mix it in with food for 100 horses. There was a different fucking thing, a measurement for the horses.
All the conspiratorial nuts were taking the horse paste.
Yeah, and they were taking the horse. Yeah, exactly, similarly. And they were mixing it with what a horse. A horse weighs 1,200 pounds, 1,600 pounds. You weigh 300. I know most of the Republicans that took it weigh 300 pounds or more. Still, you do not weigh 1,200 pounds.
But see, there were a lot of people that would go to various drug websites and they would buy the human version of it. Like, so you had the ones that could only get access to the horse paste.
Yeah.
Then you also had ones that had access to the human version. But because they were doing it off-label, off-prescription, didn't know dosage, they were still fucking their shit. Joe Rogan took ivermectin. Joe Rogan.
And he almost overdosed. And he almost overdosed on it, from what he's kind of claimed as well, and other things. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, do not put drugs up your butt in a volume that you do not know how many milligrams.
Don't take any medication that you weren't prescribed.
So what I was just getting
by your
at
doctor.
What I was getting at is they did like a major peer-studied view on it, and now like everybody and their mom is saying that does not work for this, and that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So let's get into our.
To me, that's like asking for antibiotics for the common cold. It's not going to work. They're not they don't do shit together.
Yeah, it's like asking for foot fungal medicine for your fucking nose infection, your sinus infection. You know, like that doesn't work together. That's not the same thing. There's fungus and an infection that's like bacterial. Two different things, you dumbass twats. You don't understand the concept of other things.
By the way, any parents out there with like little itty bitty babies and stuff, if they get like the yeast infection in their fat rolls under their necks, you can in fact use the foot fungus cream for that, and it will work because it's the exact same type of yeast that grows.
Yeah, exactly. What you have to look for is the same things that work for the same things. If there's things that are this, a virus is a virus. There's cheese and rice. How do I have to explain this to adults? I can't believe I have to explain this to adults.
No, but like also like I've heard like some people like, oh yeah, I've got a common cold. Oh, give me some antibiotics. Then it will go. Like
no, there's mouth
that actually respond to that and give it. They should take their license away. Like
well, the other thing is
give them sugar pills.
Well, no, because some people do and some people don't. Yes, doctors are giving it way too much, but there are ones that are for mouth, there are ones that are for this, for that, and this and that. Some people do need them, but they're giving them out way easier than they probably should.
But if you got a cold, that's a virus. Antibiotics.
Yeah, but I don't.
It's against bacteria, not viruses.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like my kid, he was dealing with like this chronic cough and this chronic like overbuilding of mucus and stuff, and getting fevers, having issues, and because he's nonverbal and stuff, they can't. It's really difficult to get him to do swabs and everything. But based off of what we knew that it wasn't certain issues. So as a precaution, he was prescribed an antibiotic. His stuff cleared up with it, so we knew it was bacterial.
Yeah.
However, that is not always the case. And it's very important that you let your doctors do all the tests and everything that they need and not just insist on an antibiotic.
Yeah.
And then
bugs. That's how you get super bugs.
And then one last thing before we get on to this is take all of your fucking medication until it's done. The other thing that causes super spreaders is people taking most of their medication, feeling like they're okay and not taking the rest of it to not kill it completely.
If you're given a dose for a week, 3-4 times a day, you take it for the whole week. You don't go, okay, it's day 5 and I'm feeling better, so I'll stop. You may be feeling better. That doesn't mean everything's dead yet.
No, exactly.
Finish the course.
That's not how the world works. So, anyways, let's blow on with this. So we have the one pot.
For anyone that loves mac and cheese and knows how to make a proper baked mac and cheese, this will infuriate you.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so here we're gonna end on this. So
not gonna see this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Cheese hack. It's actually a take on the viral TikTok pasta. Stay with me, guys. It's really, really good. You want to start with a baking dish, spray it so nothing sticks, add in a block of cheese. I did half white cheddar, half regular cheddar. Go in with about 2 cups.
Those are uncooked noodles that you just threw in there?
Oh, and the blocks of cheese. Why did you not, son of a beach? Like, everything already is already wrong with this bullshit.
Why? Yeah, I'm not like the guy that would cook, but I would think at least make the cheese smaller. I can't get the word. But like, yeah.
Okay, so how do you bake these noodles? That does not make any sense. You cannot bake these noodles, right?
Is this one of those one pot no prep things?
Yep.
Okay. So over here, I have this pasta bake thing that I really like. It's a pre-made jar sauce, and what you do is you put the dried pasta in the casserole dish.
Yeah.
You pour the sauce on it.
Okay.
And then it says to fill the jar up to the label with water. Pour that in, mix it, and then you put it in the oven. You bake it. You put it out. You put some cheese on. You bake it a bit more.
With
and
these
that's
type of
really
noodles?
nice, but that the sauce is pre-done. Pasta's absorbing the water and the sauce, right?
And the cheese.
That's a block of cheese. Part of it's going to burn on the bottom. It's not going to melt good.
That's what I'm saying. It's not proportioned right. It's not put. Yeah, this is how you break up with a chef. If you are dating a chef and you want to break up with them, this is the recipe that you use to get them to never talk to you again. Anyways, let's keep.
Yeah, but no. What I meant is like at least shred the cheese.
Yeah,
that's what that. No, of course, yeah.
Cups of noodles of choice. I did bow tie. Add in your liquid. I did chicken broth for more flavor, and then a little bit of heavy cream. Add in about 4 tablespoons of butter. Season it up to taste. I did salt and pepper, and of course some garlic powder. And then I added some Sicily glam blend on top for more flavor.
It's
I
not
added
gonna
in
work.
some extra cheese, some Colby Jack cubes, and a little bit of
And then Colby
cheese
Jack
on top to blend. It's just a regular mac and cheese
and
blend. This is where I messed up. Too much liquid. Pay attention.
She got it completely right. This is where I messed up. No, you messed up earlier, honey. This is not where you messed up, but at least you admit you messed up.
To the proportions in the caption, guys. You don't want to mess up on this. Anyway, I fixed it and it still came out amazing. I just poured off the excess liquid, added some cheese, and broiled it. And you would have never thought that this mac and cheese was just...
Always more cheese.
The problem was that much cheese was.
I know.
And the fat in the cheese was stopping the liquid going anywhere in the pasta.
Yeah, and so
now so creamy, so decadent.
Look at that. Look at how gross that is.
Amazing. You guys have to try it and let me know what you think.
No, honey, I'm not going to try it.
Does not look that good.
If I made that for Queen and Prince, she would kick me out of the house and make me sleep on the porch.
Shout out to Jamie from Everything Delicious for this super cool mac and cheese hack. It's actually a take on the viral TikTok pasta. Stay with me, guys. It's
okay. I think that's as far as we need to go with that bull crap.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you all very much for being here. We will see you all tomorrow for Crazy Shite. We're doing another Halloween-y type thing, and that will be the last one I think for this week. Until when we go on tour the 1st to the 9th, I may be doing live streams of some of the events on the YouTubes. So we will see you all then, and or in somebody else's stream. We'll see. So Vila, is there anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
Yeah, on Thursday.
Sweet.
I'm going to be doing a stream, gaming stream. I don't know what games I'm going to play at the moment. They're going to be like spooky games, so maybe a bit of Phasmo, Friday the 13th, Lunch Lady, maybe some solo games. It depends who's about that can play and whatnot. And yeah, and then on Wednesday next week, I'm starting up again doing the Wicked Wednesday, where I do the spooky stories. So,
awesome.
Yay!
We're definitely looking forward to that for sure.
And
tomorrow I'm on
TMI.
TMI, thank you.
Yep. Tomorrow?
Totally.
Is it tomorrow?
No, that's usually Tuesday.
In 2 days. In 2 days,
Thursday.
you'll be on
Yeah, in 2
Okay,
days.
2 days.
Thursday.
Sorry.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
No worries. No
TMI
worries.
show.
And we're doing the
Yeah.
Halloweeny one, so it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
We really all enjoyed you coming on last time. So.
Oh yay! I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it too.
If the brainless would like to share the TMI or Danish's link
I think
in the side chat, then please do that. Because of course we promote our lovely Danish. We love her. I just have been busy in between the times to do the show, and like I tried last week, but when I go to work, I get stuck finishing off all the things we need to do for the stuffs and things, and I've had so many shows because it's the Halloween season that I've been busy doing that. So after this and after I go on my tour on the 9th, then I'll come back and I'll have a little bit of time, but then I'm trying to move or be over with the Queen. So once that happens, then you'll see us together a lot more, or maybe you won't see us for like a week. We'll see when that happens. So
depends on how much fun you have, right?
Yeah, exactly. So thank you all very much.
Channel.
Yeah, that's Delicious Danish's channel. So everybody go there. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you in the next stream or in the Dissim Accords. So thank you all very much. Bye.
Bye, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.